All right, let's jump right in with a huge question that's on pretty much everyone's mind. After this massive, massive surge in investment and hype, is the AI boom about to bust? And what makes this so interesting right now is who is sounding the alarm. We are talking about Michael Burry, the legendary investor who got famous for predicting the 2008 financial crisis. You might remember him from the movie The Big Short. The point is, when this guy talks, the markets really listen. So in this explainer, we're not just going to look at the warning signs. Nope. We're going to give you the language to actually discuss it. Think of this as your guide on how to debate the AI bubble, packed with power phrases you can use to get your own opinion across, clearly and with confidence. So after being pretty quiet for years, Burry's return to the public stage with these cryptic posts on X, well, it caused an immediate stir in the US markets. And that phrase, to cause a stir, is just perfect here. It means to create a whole lot of excitement or, trouble. And that's exactly what he did. Now, here's a fantastic phrase you'll hear all the time in these kinds of discussions. So let's unpack this. It's like a signal, right? It tells everyone you're about to break down a really complex issue into smaller, easier to understand pieces. And that's exactly what we're about to do. First things first, we've got to understand Burry's favorite tool, short selling. Now, this isn't about buying a stock and hoping it goes up. It's the complete opposite. Short selling is literally a financial bet that a company's value is going to go down. It's a super high-risk, high-reward move, and frankly, it's what made him a legend. So, when Burry shorts these big AI stocks, what is he actually accusing them of? I mean, this isn't just a feeling that the technology is a bit overhyped. His claim is way more specific and a whole lot more serious. And this brings us to another really powerful phrase. That's the crux of the argument. The crux, C-R-U-X, is the most essential, the most central point. So when you use this phrase, you're basically telling people, hey, listen up, because this is the most important part. And here it is. The crux of the argument is this. Burry is claiming that AI companies are doing what he calls classical earnings manipulation. What does that mean in simple terms? He's accusing them of making their finances look way better than they actually are. For instance, a company might take a 5-year contract and report all that future money right now just to make their quarterly numbers look amazing. This keeps the stock price artificially high, and it is a very heavy accusation. Okay, so now let's build up our toolkit for talking about these kinds of risky situations. Knowing how to describe potential problems is a huge skill in any debate, especially in the business world. Let's call this our vocabulary of crisis. When a situation suddenly gets tricky or unstable, you can say, we've hit some serious turbulence. It's such a great metaphor, right? It makes you think the market is all of a sudden shaky and unpredictable. Think about it. It's like being on an airplane that starts shaking in a storm. It just perfectly captures that feeling of sudden danger. It paints a much clearer picture than just saying, uh-oh, we have a problem. Now, Burry isn't just worried about one single thing. He sees a bunch of different issues. You can describe a situation like that by saying little pockets of concern are popping up. It suggests the problems aren't massive and everywhere just yet, but they are definitely starting to appear in a few different places. And this is why those little pockets can be so dangerous. Because the tech industry is so interconnected, a problem in just one company could cascade. That word cascade is key. It means to fall or rush down in stages, kind of like a waterfall. One failure could trigger another, which triggers another. It's a domino effect. And the potential result of that cascade effect? Well, it can be devastating. For everyday investors, a market crash like that could wipe out savings in what feels like an instant. This phrase just powerfully gets across the speed and the completeness of that potential financial loss. But of course, there's another side to this whole story. I mean, big tech companies are betting billions and billions of dollars on the future of AI. And this brings us to the challenge of weighing those risks against the potential rewards. This next phrase is your absolute go-to for any kind of balanced discussion. It's really a matter of weighing the risks and the benefits. Here, weighing doesn't mean on a scale. It means carefully comparing the good parts and the bad parts of any big decision. So here, you can see the two arguments side by side. On one hand, you've got Burry warning of a sharp drop in valuation. But on the other, big tech is saying this isn't a bubble at all. It's a fundamental change in how we do everything. When they say we're heavily invested in the future, they're arguing these billions aren't just for show. They're building real technology. And when they say our team is delivering, it's a direct response to Burry. They're claiming the results are real, and they justify these high stock prices. This whole debate brings up a massive question, one that sounds a lot like 2008. Is a company like OpenAI now too big to fail? That's a term that means a company is so important to the entire economy that the government would probably have to rescue it if it got into trouble. I mean, is that where we are with AI now? Okay, so we've unpacked the arguments, we've picked up some really powerful language. Now it's your turn to put it all together. Let's do a super quick recap of those power phrases we covered. You can use "that's the crux of the argument" to get to the main point, describe a messy situation with "we've hit some serious turbulence," explain a domino effect by saying "a problem could cascade," and you can frame your entire analysis with "it's a matter of weighing." Which brings us right back to our final question for you. The AI bubble, is it the real deal or is it just a bunch of hype? Think about everything we talked about today. Using the phrases you've learned, how would you argue your side? That's your challenge. Thanks for tuning in.